Yeah.
All right, we're back. J and J Mondays on a Sunday, almost we did a reverse there. And as usual, J77, my partner here, Jotskin, and we're doing it in audio form for a lot of reasons. One, lighting. I'm in a spot where the sun is just beaming down right on my computer, so I can't really have it blocking any of the visual that's going on. So as I said, do it in audio form. Josh can have some somewhat similar situation to that, where she can't have the light on because of headaches. So basically, we're just doing it in audio form. It's better that way. Um, it is freezing in New York. I don't know how it is over there in Florida, but it is
Oh, it's
cold.
not freezing. It might be close to what we consider, what Floridians consider freezing, maybe once or twice a year.
What's the coldest it gets down there?
Uh, 30, 40 degrees, and that's really pushing it.
You make it sound like it's a rare occasion that it gets 40 degrees down there.
Yes, it's usually like in the 60s, 70s, summertime's 90s, 80s, 90s.
Okay, so it's definitely cold. Yeah, we're getting the cold spell. Fall is officially here. We're closing in on Halloween, which is still 2 weeks away. But doesn't mean that we can't still talk about entertainment. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. I'm actually going to be doing a follow-up for a blog at Matic Expression, but we're going to be talking about Hollywood, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But before we do that, let's have a little fun. The link, you've seen it, on the Star Wars final poster, which has always seen a tradition to have. What's your opinion of this new Star Wars poster that came out? And do you think it holds tradition of the Star Wars lore?
And Star Wars lore, you mean like the expanded universe?
No, just in general.
Can you repeat the question?
The new poster. See, it finally came out. It shows the characters in his glory, and it really, to me, at least in my opinion, it captured what Star Wars is really all about. The epic sci-fi soap opera that had lacked somewhat in the Star Wars prequels. But the one thing I always adore is how they always manage to give us great movie posters, which is something that sadly we don't see much anymore. When they promote their movies, posters have always been the grand promotion of a film, and Star Wars posters always seem to capture that. And I'm seeing it right here. I'm seeing Han Solo's daughter. You see Princess Leia. You see Han Solo. You know what I don't see though? I don't see Luke. Where is he?
I don't know.
That's scaring me a little bit because, like, okay, Luke Skywalker is the Jedi Master. At least you assume, because he was the last surviving Jedi. And years has passed, as you can see from this poster. You see this character, which I still don't know who he is, what role he's going to play. You see this dark figure.
Oh, you're talking about the dark figure, the Sith thingy?
Yeah, I don't even know if he's the Sith. We don't know who he is.
God damn it, I think I've heard like people say like his lightsaber is shaped like Revans or Revans lightsaber. And I was way in the library one day and I started to read a book about one of the Star Wars novels that featured, I guess, something about him, and I didn't get to finish it. And I was already reading other books, so I know he's a character and he seems to be interesting, and I guess the lightsaber is iconic to his character. I need to do my research. But in all fairness, you didn't tell me last night that, hey, this Star Wars poster came out, so you make sure you have things to talk about and research and look up on the Star Wars wiki.
Well, here's the thing. It just popped out of nowhere. So this just came out. I mean, it literally came out today. I was going to leave this alone, but I said I got to talk about the poster because the poster is a staple of the Star Wars lore. It is a promotional device for them, and for years it has become an art form by itself. They actually, and if you look at the website, which I will I believe it's called TheVerge.com.
Yeah.
It has all the posters. I think some of them are movie posters, and I think other ones were made after the fact. But even with that being said, the classic Star Wars posters here, which, by the way, if you're a poster collector's item, I believe this poster is worth $250 for
Sheesh.
that one poster. So yeah, it's a classic poster. It's a beautiful art of Vader, Leia, and here's the funny thing about it is when you see this poster, you don't know what Princess is more tough than the movie describes. She's still a tough lady, but you did not know if she was going to be the romantic interest of Luke Skywalker judging by this poster.
She. Oh. Are you? I was thinking you were talking about Leia for a second. I'm like, about that. There, there,
Hmm.
there's this little. There's sister and brotherly love, and then there's incest.
But if you've seen the first poster, it didn't describe anything like that. You see Leia holding a gun, posing in the
No, it
most
does.
crazy
No,
way.
no. If you look at this poster, that's Han Solo's hand holding the blaster. You don't see her Leia holding anything.
No, I'm talking about the very first poster, the very first
Ah.
Star Wars poster. You
Oh,
see it?
that one. Yeah.
Yes. Now, if you first look at this, you say, okay, that's the romantic interest of the hero.
Yeah, it definitely does look like that's her pose. And in George Lucas's defense, he didn't decide that they were going to be brother and sister until I think maybe the third movie. So second or third.
Well, the Empire Strikes Back definitely give you an poster. I actually like this poster. This is what made me buy the video because I wasn't that deep into Star Wars until I saw the Empire Strikes Back poster. And then, of course, you had the infamous Return of the Jedi poster. And then you have the prequels. But I love the Jedi. I love the Star Wars posters. I really do. One of my favorite ones is the Revenge of the Sith poster because it pretty much explains it all. We're heading for a clash. Didn't like the movie of the Attack of Clones. Did like the poster. And I just think this A Force Awakening, which I'm kind of glad. I'm glad for two things. They did two things right with this. They got rid of the episode thing. I don't need to see episode 7. Just put Star Wars and then put the title, whether you're gonna put it in the bottom or the middle. Just put it there. You don't need to say episode 1, episode 7. Just put
Well,
it right there.
it's
We know
sort
what
of
episode
nice
is.
when people do like number their stuff like episode 1, episode 2, so you know which order that they're supposed to go in chronologically.
That's not even chronological order. It's just that it's like, all right, there was a reason why. I can
No
understand why they called.
chronological order. Episode 1 occurred before episode 2. If you're talking about the release dates, then that's different.
Mhm. Yeah, but to me, I don't think it's necessary. I already know this is episode 7. Everybody knows episode 7. You know they know that the scroll title is going to say episode 7. You don't need to put in the
I
poster.
know, but still, it looks good. But still, it's like I'm used to seeing the episode 1, episode 2. It looks good, but it doesn't look Star Wars good, I guess I'm trying to say.
I know one. I do know one. Can we please have stormtroopers that's more confident than the ones in the original series?
What do you mean they must really be a hell of a confident if they can still try to shoot things when they can't hit?
Uh, where would it work? The drones had more accuracy than the troopers, and people didn't like the drones for some reason. They didn't. I don't understand. That's like they more consistent than the troopers were. I never got that part, but no, I like this poster. I really do. I do know one thing though. This guy who's holding this gun, this stormtrooper who has the red cape on, who is he?
Okay, I'm going to go off on a limb, and I think I've heard rumors about from Game of Thrones, the sort of mannish lady.
There's a female who's a stormtrooper.
Yeah, yeah, from the Game of Thrones. I forget her goddamn name. But she was helping in one season, helping Jamie Lannister go back to his home
Interesting.
of Tarth or
Um,
something. Can someone look it up, please? God, I
I'll
don't want
find
you
out.
to keep on saying okay, okay without like having any information going like, oh, this is the person's name.
I haven't seen a single trailer of Star Wars since the second one. I try to keep trailer free. This is one film I don't want the trailer to spoil anything. There are people. Oh, I'm sorry. There's people outside now
Oh,
basically going to stores buying this robot, which I don't see why. You know what robot I'm talking about, right? The one.
no, I'm focusing on finding out the damn person's name.
We're really interested in this character. I'm
Yes,
interested.
I have to find it out now. Okay, Brain of Tarth, and the actress's name is, and my computer just decided, oh, you wanted to click on this link without asking me. Okay, I'm gonna put the actress's name over in the group chat because I can't pronounce it. Okay.
It must sound like
Gwendolyn
Chris,
Christie. Yeah. Okay, can you pronounce it?
Gwendoline Christine. Gwendoline Christine. It's gonna take some time to get used to.
Yeah,
And she plays one of the stormtroopers. Am I correct?
I've heard something. I might have misheard correctly, but if what I remember is correct, that's her.
Yeah, I'm interesting, because I'm like, okay, that's a new twist. I mean, people have been complaining about female roles in Star Wars of late, so that will definitely be a new twist. Even though the animated series had a good female Sith Lord villain, um, I'm actually curious. I'm seeing how that works, but I like the poster. This looks crazy. I mean, what happened since now? What went down that got this conflict going? And why is stormtroopers, even though the Empire has fallen, why are they still around?
Well,
Because
you have to think that just because the Emperor got killed doesn't mean the infrastructure is suddenly going to disappear. It just means that new people will be vying for positions that have been vacated.
well, I'll tell you one thing. I know there's a Death Star in the background of this poster. So what did that mean?
A Death Star-like thing. Yeah.
What did that mean, though? I mean, it's like, are we gonna have a new scenario where the Death Star has been rebuilt again? Is there
Or
an
it's,
emperor
or it's just supposed to look like the Death Star and it could be something else. I mean, the Death Star in the Star Wars lore is not the only really big bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
But
it
it's
could be
definitely a
something
symbol.
totally different.
I am curious though, because I'm like, there's something has happened. Even though we've seen awesome trailers of the series, we can't really rely on the books
I know
to fill in the pieces.
yeah, because
We
the
can't do that.
expanded universe has been discontinued, so everything's been changed up. But it can give us hints here and there, but we just can't say, oh, it's has to be true because it was in the books or it was in a game.
So here's the thing. Here's my guess. I'm gonna take a guess. It's not a fact. I'm guessing that the one in the middle, the girl who's holding this staff, is Han Solo's daughter. I'm taking a wild gamble to say that the Jedi twins, are no longer exist in this world because they haven't mentioned anything else about another character other than this character here. So the Jedi twins are gone.
Or hear me out. This is
Mhm.
probably completely wrong. What if that Sith Lord thingy is actually the brother?
There's a possibility. I mean, it definitely does because, and I'm only guessing because we don't know who this person is. He's shielding his face. It definitely feels like a strong connection. But again, we just don't know. I mean,
I
I
mean,
do know
look
one
at the
thing.
position of the possible solo daughter right
Mhm,
next to him, not like shoulder to shoulder, and then it almost appears like his lightsaber is part of her staff.
mhm.
I'm probably totally misreading that shit.
But it definitely brings a good cost. Well, I do know one thing. The brother here with the blue lightsaber is a defector. I'm almost certain that he was a stormtrooper at one point, and he said, this is going crazy. I can't be like that no more. And he found out he was a Jedi because he's
Or
holding
he
a
gets
lightsaber.
trained, or he gets trained by someone.
hmm But he's holding a lightsaber, so he definitely. And he's not wearing a traditional Jedi robe. He's wearing a coat. That's a blazer he's wearing. He said, "Yeah, I got this."
Yeah.
And I just see that R2D2 and 3PO are together again.
Yay!
Know who, don't know who the guy wearing the helmet. I'm hoping that's Luke because that's the only picture they have. That'd be awesome if he's still, part of the resistance. But that's the only thing that bothers me about the posters. Like, here's Han Solo in all his glory with his usual blaster. Here's Princess Leia, who honestly looks like she's bored. I don't know why. And you don't see Luke anywhere in his picture. Even Chewie has something to add in his poster. I mean, I think he's having a bow and arrow or something.
It's a Wookiee weapon. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, so it's a lot of stuff here, and like, you mean tell me, it makes me wonder what role do Mark Hamill really have? Is he having a very small role? Because I know that a lot of these characters, some of the older characters, have cameo roles. I'm
I,
pretty sure that and that'd be a shame because you would think that him being the Jedi Master, he will have a more important role to play. I mean, I'm not saying that he's gonna, dominate the screen, which he
yeah,
shouldn't.
I would prefer the new people start to dominate the screen. I mean, it might just be after Star Wars novel after Star Wars novel of always has to have Luke and Han and gang or someone there. I mean, there are novels out there without featuring them, but still, some of the major plot lines is just we don't need you anymore. Can you just die?
Mhm.
I was like oh God, I forget the name of the book, but I was like, oh my God, they're going to kill off Luke and it's going to be, sad, but an awesome type of sad. I'm like, of course he lives. Barely.
Yeah, to stop him from taking out Rookie.
Yeah, the Wookiee, yeah, Chewbacca, like a sidekick character, not Luke I'm not saying Chewie's death wasn't sad. And it was a good first step.
Which brings to the next question: kill off in this series? Any of the old characters?
Yeah, Luke could die. He's a whiner.
This is interesting though, but I do like this poster. Um, Again, it leaves a lot of questions as to where this storyline is going to go. A lot of people trust J.J. Abrams. He's the man who's going to be running the first one. And I probably would not be curious if he would have done all three, but he's not doing all three as it's been reported. He's doing just the one, and they're going to have new directors for two and possibly even for three. So we don't know what Disney's doing. I do know Disney's not doing the 3-year waiting period that Lucas have done. So once this film's come out, they're already working on the next one, and that may be probably I think 2016, 17, and 2017, 18. So we're not going to wait too long for another episode of Star Wars. The question that I think that we have is how much are they willing to expand upon the Star Wars universe in their movie division? Because you already know they got Rogue One coming out. They're trying to do a Han Solo spinoff. They're doing a lot of stuff, and I'm kind of wondering, even they're doing a Boba Fett spinoff, which makes no sense to me, but we got a lot of stuff happening with the Star Wars lore. So I'm kind of wondering, do they have enough? Are they over pushing it, or are there no limits to the Star Wars universe that can go beyond the Jedi Knights, Luke Skywalker family tree.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they do take little hints here and there from the now defunct expanded universe, they have more than enough material to work with.
Well, I just hope they don't overdo it because you can actually stretch yourself thin, which we have learned in the past. But they are dedicated, and a lot of people have more. The more we hear of Star Wars, the more confident people have that this is going to be the one that will bring Star Wars back on the map. The competition for them isn't as heavy as I thought it was. You got Bond coming out in November, so there's no competition between that. Really, they have an open door competition, so they should do well. I consider this to be a huge hit. Um, as for how it's going to tie into the other two movies, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Again, I am concerned because I'm seeing everybody except Mark Hamill, and who we know is going to be in the film, but how much of a role he's going to be in the film, and does this mark the beginning of killing off some of the old favorites?
That'd be awesome.
For you, it might. Well, a lot of diehard Star Wars fans might disagree with that.
And
Well,
I really like Star Wars. It wasn't diehard as it was before, but still.
well, let's see what happens. Star Wars. I believe the release date is December what? December what?
18th.
December 18 in theaters worldwide. It is also going to be on IMAX and real 3D and whatever 3D is happening. I hope they do a 2D print because, you know what? I'll probably watch it in 3D just because it's Star Wars. I'll give it that respect. But I'm very, very worried when I see films on 3Ds. I don't like spending $5 extra for a movie that's gonna, cost $50. Yeah, it's gonna cost $15 for me to see this film in certain areas. I'm not gonna be very, very happy at all. We are staying with Hollywood Talk. That is one of many things we're going to stay in Hollywood Talk. But it does raise a question. I'm glad Star Wars was the first thing we talk about because, Josh, I have a question to ask you.
Yeah.
Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
I got a question to ask you.
Okay.
Is it me or summer blockbusters are becoming? Is fall becoming the new summer blockbuster?
It seems like there seems to be big movies coming out during the fall. I mean, this fall we have Spectre, Mockingjay Part 2, and in December we have Star Wars. 3 really big movies with big followings and franchises.
It seems very weird to me, but in the past few years, I have been noticing a big shift within the movie industry, and it seemed like a lot of films you normally think would be summer releases aren't getting the summer release treatment. A lot of these movies have been being released around a time where we're probably seeing Academy Award films, drama films that are basically targeted for the award shows, and that's not been the case. Over the last decade, I have noticed more and more that these films are being released in either the fall or the spring. Take a look at all the films that came out in the summertime. There wasn't too many summer blockbuster films that came out in the summer.
Yeah.
I mean, what was how many? Well, name all the summer films that came out that summer. I can tell you, and most of those films didn't come out in the summertime. The Avengers was not a summer release date. You do know that.
It was in the spring.
Yes. So it's like, where is it? Is summer blockbusters actually dying down, or is Hollywood realizing, in your opinion, that you can still make a lot of money in the fall, by releasing these films that meant for the summer in the fall?
Okay, I just want to start this off by saying this merely in a looking at the effects, and I'm not saying this movie is actually good. I mean, good on a story level. But when Avatar was released, I think studios might have taken some hints from that. Like, look, this movie earned a shitload, and it was during this time when, it's supposed to not be a good movie season.
Hmm. So if you believe that they say, okay, this film made a lot of money where it should not have made a lot of money in this particular date, let's just start putting films out there and see what happens.
Yeah, because Hollywood movies are a business, and if you see a chance to make money, you take it.
That's an interesting argument. I do, and I know not dispute that point. I do wonder though, because August. Do you remember any movies that came out in August?
Not really.
There you go. That's one. That's supposed to be the last leg of the summer blockbusters, and August was just a dead month. I mean, it hasn't been really filmed that anybody really cared for. I mean, there was the Hitman film, but nobody really saw that film.
Oh God, yeah, the Hitman film.
Yeah, you see that you didn't remember
No,
that
I
film came
didn't
out.
see
That
it, but Rev saw it without me. But in his defense, he's a big Hitman fan, so I'll see it on DVD and Blu-ray.
but this is the point. I mean, there are a lot of films. Like I said, we already know that Avengers is not a summer movie, even though they say, "Oh, it's a summer block." No, it's not. It came out during the springtime. It wasn't even near June. Um, it is a question of whether or not the ship is now turning back, turning on towards the winter lineup. The winter lineup is going to be packed with three major films that are coming out. Spectre's coming out later on this month. Going to be released later in October in the UK. We have Mockingjay Part 2, which, by the way, if you look at the Hunger Games, was there any Hunger Game movie? I know there's only four. Were there any of them released in the summertime?
No, they were all November films. I remember because me and Rose have it, our little tradition every November seeing the newest Hunger Games movie.
No film was so successful. They said, "Oh, let's put it in summer blockbusters," but they kept it in the Holly series. There's only been, this is actually a fact, there's only been one Harry Potter film that actually came out in the summertime. Everything, all the Harry Potter films came out during the holiday season. The last James Bond film, surprisingly, that came out in the summertime was License to Kill in 1989. That's the last film. That was the last Bond film that came out during the summertime, and their reasoning for this is because number one, they felt that they have a better chance of making their money doing during the November December year than they would have in the summertime. What's your view on that?
With the Harry Potter?
No, just in general, do you think that many people feel that even though these films have a summer blockbuster feel to it, they have a much better chance of getting their money doing the winter's lineup than the summer lineup? Has the summer lineup imploded to the point where it's even films that are deemed successful may not have a chance if they was released in the summer?
It was, I think, for one thing, as I brought up before, that they are successful, and so more studios would be turning their attention to releasing films during, what is money-making season. It might be that, well, for one thing, movie ticket prices have gone up, and that's also a little complicated issue too. And so
Oh
people,
yes.
yeah, so maybe during like the fall and winter seasons, there's more of a time to, oh, we can't go out right now. I mean, for all you people who live in cold states where it gets really cold in the winter and snows, we can't really do much today. Let's go out to the movie theater.
Well, you hit a good point that I actually just thought about. The price of the theaters have limited people to see movies. How many movies have you seen this year so far?
God, okay, I've seen Jurassic Park once in a little of a real theater. If you not a normal theater, but you go in, the tickets cost $5, but they make all the money off the food and drink you get. And I saw Jurassic World in that. Then I saw it the next day in IMAX 3D with Rev Resner, taking me out for a little treat. And right after I saw Jurassic World, I saw Terminator Genesis. Oh, I have a
So
four.
that's
Oh,
so
Ant-Man.
pretty much the
I've
only.
seen Ant-Man, Insurgent, The Avengers, 2 or 3
You actually saw
times.
that. You actually saw that movie.
Insurgent.
It's, yes.
For one, I'm a Divergent fan, but I had bad feelings from the trailer. But then, Dad offered to take me, and it's like, okay, I get to see a movie. And then it's
Tell
funny
me the
where
book is better. That's all I
Resner
gotta say.
is just like, "Oh, you're a Divergent fan, right? Do you want to watch Insurgent? Do I want to shoot myself in the head?" It's oh god, if I start ranting about why I hate the movie, and I'm a book fan, and I can look at how it's both bad as a movie and an adaptation, that'd be the podcast.
So it's safe to say that you actually saw. It's safe to say you saw 10 movies this year so far.
I can't count if that's how many I saw.
There are some people who only go to movies twice in their whole lifetime. The film, DVDs and
Well, those
streaming has
people
made it
would
more
have
cheaper.
fucking seen Insurgent, so good job, folks.
But the point is, you get what I'm getting at here. The cost of going to movie is up. 3D didn't make it any cheaper. That Oh my god, I can't stand that chair. I don't know what that chair vibration thing didn't make it any easier either. So really, you had all that up. The summer blockbuster, which normally is supposed to be the biggest draw for movies, whether it's family movies that makes your head explode, film that is made for comedy purposes. These films are not exactly seeing the same results as they once were 10 years ago. In fact, they're not the same as it was in the 80s. So now we're seeing a big push. Hollywood has really changed over and has actually released a lot of film that probably would have not have been released in these days, being pushed October, November, and December. October normally, and it's kind of surprising because we're seeing less and less of this happening. October is showing less horror films or suspense
Why the
films.
fuck would you show less horror in October? Do you know what big holiday October has? Do you know why? You know what would be a good selling point? Horror.
What?
Horror movies.
Yes, but
Lots
here's
of
the thing:
those.
most of those horror films don't come out in October. Do you know the horror? There's a I don't. There used to be a festival. I don't know if they still do it, but a few years ago, there used to be a horror festival. They used to do gore and those heavy kind of movies that show gore, show horror. It's like those kind of hostile kind of movies. You would think it'd be in October. They came out in November. That festival was take place in November. Horror Fest, they called it.
Sheesh.
I guess October is not the month that everybody wants to release films, but you would think that it would be. And for the record, I'm aware that there were horror film that was released this year. I don't know if Paranormal is going to be still released at this month or not. They haven't. They was just rumored that they may push it back. But
When
horror.
I saw the new Paranormal trailer, one of the first few that were released, I was like, for the first bit, I was just like, oh my god, this actually looks like a decent. Oh, it's a Paranormal Activity film. Never mind.
Well, it may actually surprise people.
I
mean,
just attaching Paranormal to it is just no. You're just milking the franchise. No. I mean, I don't care about the franchise, but it's like, can't you make something like that that's not Paranormal Activity, or do they just slap the brand on so that they're sure they make money because fans of the series will think they need to see this one?
Well, here's the funny part about it. There's only been a few horror films that came out. There's one that didn't even make a noise. I mean, there was a horror film that I think that Double Toast I reviewed. They were the only one that actually reviewed it. But the point is that you would think that I can't get the name. It's a very weird title. It's a film that has the R on it. So, and they brought up a very good question about how those horror, which I disagree because I think people actually want to see the horrors. If it's promoted properly, they will know that it's out there and they will see it. People want to see horror, not they don't want to see the hostile part, but they want to see something that's more geared towards them. They want to see a smart, scary,
Oh,
suspenseful
in
horror film.
October. Well, let's see, October 16th, Crimson Peak, which I want to see because Guillermo del Toro.
Oh yes, uh, he was the one that did Pam Mathras.
Yeah, he also did. He does the TV series The Strain. He did Pacific Rim. He did a film called The Orphanage.
Mm-hmm.
That was
So
good.
he has
He has a good
he
track
has
record.
he does. He definitely does. They was promoting it in New York a lot, heavily over here. So I know and I think the reviews came out last week about the film. But here's the thing, though. You will think October, okay, this is the month we can release a lot of horror films, suspense films. Hollywood didn't do that. I mean, the first horror film that came out was a children's movie called Transylvania 2. And I got nothing against that. It definitely has that Halloween feel for children. But you're telling me that this month, which has now become a new bombing ground for bad film, that's it? November, December, even January, which was called the place where bad movies just sits down and become bad, has become a very interesting selling point. And it's kind of wondering about the shift of summer blockbuster. Is the summer blockbuster after all these years finally dying down? Are we seeing that we may not have to? I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, but are we seeing that the summer blockbuster isn't just a place where all these mega films are going to be coming out now? Are we seeing it being more spread out in the next few years?
Possibly.
Is it a good thing for Hollywood?
Well, as long as they make their money and keep making movies, I might not be a bad thing. I mean, you're going to get money either way, so it's like, wow, I don't want this money at this day. It must be at this specific day and time.
Well, here's my question: would you, if the Terminator, let's say Terminator Genesis, didn't came out in the summertime, and it came during Christmas, would you see that film? Even
Yeah,
though
it's Terminator. God.
it's many people, and the argument about this is if you have a film, if you have movies come out in November, December, it should be family films, films that are geared towards children, and not films that are so heavy in violence and cursing and sexual
There'll be
contact.
children's movies released.
Mhm.
You can't just say, "Oh, this is child friendly time of year." It's like, no, no.
But it's definitely interesting. It's definitely a good trend that's happening, and hopefully, in many ways, I think is a good thing. But in other ways, it definitely shows how that big marker, the ultimate marker.
Hello, Chuck Early.
I'm right here.
Hello.
You can you hear me?
Oh, now I can hear you.
Okay, I was wondering. I was just saying that big trump card, which known as the summer blockbuster for Hollywood, isn't as decent in the whole as used to. Part of the film that you normally would see in the summer blockbuster lineup isn't in that lineup, and the film that's supposed to be summer blockbuster isn't being released in the summertime. March is not summer; it's spring. There's a big difference.
You sure about that?
So, well, do you think that should be the official time?
I'm just
April.
messing with you.
I'm
I
sorry.
don't care.
So it's weird how that's just changing. But at the same time, it does question just how much the pendulum had changed over the years in terms of releasing films. You have any last thoughts on this before we go into the other Hollywood conversation?
Money, money, money. Okay, that's it.
All right. I might as well tell you this now because it's very important that you know this ahead of time. We are going to be doing something very interesting. This is homework for you, and you got to a whole month to do this because it's involved by season finale. Are you ready for this assignment?
Okay.
We are going to do the best of, worst of. We're going to give kudos to the actor who have done great this year, to the film that has surprised us this year, to the worst film that came out and why, to the best music in the movie. It doesn't have to be a score, but it can actually be a song that you actually seen and like. Um, the comeback, the up and coming actor award for our little pick, and you have to pick a guest to join us for this.
Why?
It could be anyone you because it can be anyone you choose because it brings more a debate. We didn't see every film that came out this year. You may have an actor that may have been coming, so it's going to be kind of fun. But the most importantly, we're going to be doing this as a special. The second part is going to be an all women's episode, and I'll explain in due details.
Okay.
Put it this way, you know how female actors, and there's been a big controversy, somewhat, within Twitter and in the social media about certain actress. I believe Jennifer Lawrence have said this, and she's a great actress. But she brought up something that actually even inspires this episode here: wages and sexism in Hollywood. And she had gotten enormous applause from other actresses like Emma Watson and some even the veteran actors who have came before her. Basically, what we're going to do is give a salute to all the veteran women actresses that came between the 70s, 80s, and now. So you will have a lot of
Homework
because
to
you've
do at
been
the
in the
last
80s,
minute.
huh?
Homework to do at the last minute.
No, you got plenty of time. We're way ahead for the season finale.
I know, but still.
We got plenty of time. You don't have to worry about that. But we want to do. I'm giving you guys a hint of how the season finale is. I'm doing a blog segment on it, yes, but I'm also want a general respect from different point of views from other ones who feels this way because I think that we're seeing a change in Hollywood that I think Hollywood themselves are trying to. I know it's crazy, but it seems like there's a lot of people who are trying to be more conservative to the old ways of Hollywood, even though it's been proven that that was not actually good Hollywood. Um, almost lost you there. And I want to pay tribute to some of these actresses who paved the way for a lot of the other actresses like Jennifer Lawrence, Emma Watson, to actually get the roles that they have now, and why there is still a serious issue when it comes to women who age in Hollywood. For instance, I don't know if you saw the article, but there was a big thing that um, Anne Hathaway is getting less and less roles as she's getting older. However, a person like Robert De Niro, who gets older, he still gets just as many roles he had if he was still in his 30s, which brings a very serious issue of. And I wanted to bring that up as well as a topic point that Hollywood has sort of a bias when it comes to race and actually gender within their studios, and it's kind of sad, really. It really is because these are actresses who really defined their role, who took it to the next level, and to be treated as if you're too old now, nobody's really want to look at you now. And halfway, got to be what in the mid 30s,
I don't know.
and yet
Never
she's
asked a
treated.
woman her age.
Yet they still treat her as she's like 90, which is kind of crazy. It doesn't shouldn't matter,
She
huh?
still looks young.
Yeah, but this is the point issue that's going on in Hollywood. There's an issue going on with Hollywood, period, in terms of just that kind of situation. But this is an issue that I find I still scratch my head because, like, she's already a proven actress who's been in many movies, and you're telling me she's getting less roles not because she's bad in movies, but because she's getting old. That to me should be unacceptable. I mean, it really is. Like, for instance, for me, I would love to see Sigourney Weaver back in the big screen. I was happy she was in Avatar because she's still there and she's still doing good
And
from what she
Avatar,
does.
she was also in um, The Cabin in the Woods. She was in that.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
I know she was in something else, but I can't damn think of it.
but there's almost. Mhm.
I'm gonna look it up, and you can continue talking.
See, once she gets into that, I got to do my research mode. She can't stop.
Yeah.
But
I
this
could
is the point I'm
stop if
trying
I wanted to.
to say. But the point I'm trying to get here is, and this is what leading up to this next topic is, that Hollywood, as much as we
Oh, she was in
glamour,
Chappie. She was in
what was
Chappie.
it?
Chappie.
Well, that independent film
Yeah.
about that robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard of it. So, like I said, she did a research. See, she likes doing stuff like that. But the point I'm trying to get here is that, and this leads me to another section. This is where we're going to get a little bit more serious about because it is a topic that I'm going to be exploring a lot more, both on podcasts and on article views. And I want you guys to look at this because I want you guys to look at over the years, not just this year, but over the past few years, who your stars are, how they got that role, and why they've got that role. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because even though Hollywood is still this place, star, shine, Tinsel City, all these places that goes down, Hollywood still has a serious problem when it comes to casting certain groups in their films. In fact, they've been trying so hard um, not to seem to have an ethical problem with race that they missed the point of why people have actually called them out on it in the first place. I take, for example, minorities, blacks. Um, we tend, and this has been something I had a huge beef with, and I will be talking about it more with black exploitation movies because it really doesn't show us in the best of light. In fact, one of the worst films I can admit it has got a cult following, and that's fine, but I can't stand the Mac. I can't stand the Wiz, and I don't know what Superfly is, but I don't like the movie. It's one of those films, and there's a reason for it. And all you need to do is look at the history of black exploitation, and it's not too hard to see why. One, a majority of these films was not directed towards black directors. Two, it was a perception of what other people have of us and how we was described in these films. If you look at the cinema snob who actually did black exploitation films as part of his review, is the movie says it all. It's poorly made, poorly shot, poorly acted. It just what Spike Lee would like to call buffoonery at its worst. Now, it has changed over the years. It took us a long, long time. It changed to a very large degree. We're getting better roles, we're getting better scripts, and we're getting better quality of stories to work with. But we still have a long way to go. There's still a certain prejudice, and not just being felt here in the United States, but also overseas, where we are looked down upon, and actually has not been promoted as heavily as Hollywood should be promoting when it comes to our films. Sometimes our films are barely even shown overseas. But nothing, and I say this before, at least we have main star power. At least we have actors who have made a difference in Hollywood. At least we have directors who are now starting to come out and do stuff. Can you tell me who is the number one star in terms of the Asian culture right now? Do you know, Josh?
Fuck. No.
Who's the? There you go. Because there is none.
Okay, I thought that was a horror. One hand, I like that I didn't know it because there was no answer, but on the same side, but on the other hand, that's really sad.
Exactly. This is the year 2015, going on 2016. Do you realize we don't have one major Asian star in Hollywood right now?
God.
Not one male lead, not no female lead. There has not been not one of these stars who actually is like a Denzel Washington or Will Smith or George Clooney type character who can take lead title roles. There is none in Hollywood. And everybody's gonna say, "Oh, what about Jackie Chan? What about Jet Li?" I got news
So,
for you. They're stars, but they're not stars in the United States. The majority of their movies came from overseas. Look it up. The majority of their movies came overseas. Yes, they have done a couple of films here and there, but there are just a fraction of what makes up Hollywood's biggest stars today. A fraction. Um, I don't know what you're doing in the background. Are you going?
sorry, it felt like I was choking. It's okay.
It's not like you're opening the door
And
to
sorry,
another
I can
dimension.
also roll my. It's a rolly chair,
Oh, okay,
so it's like this
so you're
spot.
doing. But getting back to that, these actors have already been established stars in other countries. They're still making films in other countries. Then, if you look at Jackie Chan, which is pretty much China's next biggest thing since Bruce Lee. His films from overseas is 10 times better and 10 times more representable than the films he made in the United States. And majority of his films he made in the United States were mostly kids-friendly films, except for Rumble in the Bronx, which was not in the Bronx. But I'll get to that in our time. The, re, the point I'm trying to get here is that to this day, Hollywood looks down upon actors, and it's sad, really, because I'm pretty sure if they look hard enough, which they're not, they're not looking hard enough at all. There are a lot of good Asian actors who are not given the opportunity to show their talent in the big screen or even in the small screen. There actually have been a time where, again, we as African Americans thought that blackface was just us. There were actors who were not Japanese who was given Japanese complexion and was playing Japanese, Chinese, Asian people as a form of a joke, as a form of buffoonery. One of them was Marlon Brando, and one of my favorite actors, Mickey Rooney. It was disgusting. It was uncalled for, and it really brought out a lot of tension towards the Asian community. Bruce Lee, who is one of the greatest legends in the Asian community, was shined against in Hollywood. I mean, he couldn't get a job in Hollywood, even though he had proven himself in the Green Hornets TV series. Many people looked at the Green Hornet not to look at the Green Hornet, but to look at Kato, who was played by Bruce Lee, because he was more charismatic and more interesting. Yet, when it came time to do a TV series known as Kung Fu, he was rejected for an American actor. He couldn't get roles in the United States. He literally had to go overseas to become a bigger star, to actually even be considered by Hollywood. And it wasn't until he became such a very popular person that they actually gave him a title role and actually help co-produce a film known as Enter the Dragon, a film that had a lot of risk involved, that was predominantly an Asian cast. Yet it actually was one of his greatest classic films he ever did. And sadly, he didn't live long to actually see that film himself being realized in the big screen. You would think that that will actually open the doors for more Asian actors who is actually born in this country to get more title roles, but it hasn't been the case. At least with us, yes, there's still a struggle. We still are trying to fight for more roles and more title leads. But at least we got actors, we got producers, and we got directors who are trying to pave that way. In the Asian community in Hollywood, that's not been the case, and it shouldn't be that way. Hollywood should not be shining a different light on these Asian actors. They should be given the same opportunity as anyone in Hollywood. Hollywood, there's not a door, there's a crack, and if you're not already in Hollywood, um, the chances of you getting in that crack is very, very slim. But I think time needs to change because to me, this year, especially seeing all the films that came out, there should be no reason why an Asian actor should not be getting some of these roles as some of their white counterparts, as well as even the African counterparts should be getting. What's your feeling about this? I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna let you talk, and then we'll continue on from there.
Uh, well, it is 2015, and it's when you're talking about Bruce Lee, who I don't really watch many kung fu movies, but I still know who Bruce Lee is and how awesome he is, and it's just the fact that he had trouble getting roles in some American production. It just that shouldn't have happened. If you have an actor that can prove himself, that can pull in the crowds, what's stopping you? And why can't
Again,
I? Why isn't there someone big in the Asian community? I mean, you brought it out. Blacks have like Denzel Washington. For fuck's sake.
and again, it's the whole thing. Look, everybody can say that during the time when Bruce Lee came out, there was a whole lot of stuff going on. World War II, of course, the Japanese bombing Hawaii. I understand those kind of paranormal, but we're not at war with anybody. That's one, and two, you can't hold it as the reason why we don't see Asian actors and actresses taking on more big responsible roles. There should be no reason for that. I mean, they should be more of them, standing out on the big screen, and we just don't see that. I mean, honestly, I can't not one film, and everybody's gonna say, well, what about the Fast and Furious? He was not the main star. That actor was. He was not the main star of the film. I'm talking about guys who are well known, proven beyond anyone's expectation, should be taking on these roles, and it's not happening. And this is something that I think that Hollywood has a bad habit of, especially with female actresses. They get this habit of saying, "Well, we're not too sure how people's going to respond." What do you mean you're not too sure? You're Hollywood. You guys create stories. That's what you guys do. You're here to create stories and throw it out and so that people can enjoy them. The fact is that I feel that they don't want to change things, and I think that's something that's been hurting them over the past few years. I mean, arguments for Avatar: The Last Airbender, which, by the way, was a multi-diverse animation where you have all these different cultures coming together. None of that was shown.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know where once you mentioned Avatar: The Last Airbender, I'm going to start banging my head against the wall now. I mean, I'm not an Avatar: The Last Airbender fan. I've never watched an episode of the TV series, but once you have once you're doing an adaptation, you can, of course, change certain things. But at the same time, the diversity of the cast was a point.
And that's the issue.
Fucking adaptation.
And that's been the big issue. And many people, and here's another example: Dragon Ball Z.
Oh God! Thank God I'm not also a fan of that. Thank you.
Well, a lot of people were a fan of that, and they was like, and everybody know it's a Japanese animation with Japanese characters. Not a problem. Then you make these characters not Japanese. Now we got an issue. That was an issue right there.
I mean, I love Scarlett Johansson to death. But I think I can't remember if this is confirmed or not, but she'll be playing a main character of a movie adaptation of Ghost in the Shell.
Oh, really?
I'll have to double check that because of right now, but it's just like once I heard that, I'm like, I love her, but no, I've actually seen that anime. I've seen some of the TV episodes too. And it's like, no, she's great for a lot of things, but no.
But that's the point. It's almost like, and I hear the arguments beforehand. I hear the blockbuster and run, and he's right. He believes that the role should go to whoever best suits the role. I have no problem with that argument. It's fair.
But the
I
thing
respect.
is, when the race is a part of the role, it's like you wouldn't make a black Abraham Lincoln, so why the fuck do you need to make a white, Japanese character, for fuck's sake?
And that's the argument that I think a lot of people's having. And say, come on, you're telling me that, and this is the big thing I had with the only big real thing, because I consider it my guilty pleasure film, but I can't escape the fact that you made Legend of Chong Li, okay, Street Fighter movie. It started out with an Asian girl. She was a little Asian girl, and she grew up to be a Canadian female.
Say that again?
Christian Cook. Christian Cook played Chung Li. The same girl played Lana from Smallville.
I'm just making sure I heard.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, so it started out. The film started out as a little. She was a little girl, but she was an Asian girl. Or became a white Canadian.
Well,
How's that possible?
Well, for one thing, Canada is the final frontier. It's a strange and magical place, so it's Canada. That's its justification.
No, it was done. It was supposed to be set in an Asian land.
Well,
But the point being is
Canada
that
is invading the world.
we'll see about. I'm just going to move on from that one. But my point is, the argument. I forgot the argument what they said about. Oh well, she is half Asian. I said, okay, I'm not saying that she's not or not, but the point is that you started with an Asian child, and the fact that you have turned the fact that she had a character that doesn't look nothing is an insult. It's an insult to a lot of people. The same thing goes with a lot of films they've done. That although it's not the rain. Anything is it goes with a lot of the film they tried to do this with. To me, yeah, granted, I understand it's make believe, it's fantasy, but there is a certain line you need to be mindful of, and nothing was more proven to that than the recent film that got critically killed in the box office and by critics and by moviegoers for that matter. Pam.
Oh
Rudy
God.
Mara. Rudy Mara played Tiger Lily. I think I have her name right. Rudy Mara.
Yeah. She played Lisbeth in Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, but she looks totally different, and she's a great actress, but the role.
I don't get it. I just don't get it. How could you? Because look, and I think that Corey Coleman from Double Toast said it best. You can't look if you want to change it to all white cast. All right, no, fine, but you can't have a character who is speaking British, leading a tribe, who is actually an indigenous tribe. She's the only one that stands out. It don't make no sense. And when you see it, I'm looking at it like, yeah, this is gonna be a problem. Personally, should have kept it as Native American. I don't understand why they felt they need to do that. And to me, this is the problem what Hollywood continues to step on. Sometimes they step on their own toes, they even realize it. The argument was they didn't want to sign not to be they didn't want to cast stereotypes in the film, but you still was being stereotyped when you cast her in the movie.
I mean, come on. If you don't want things to be stereotyped, the thing is not to say we're not going to have this, race that was clearly before. We're going to keep the same race, but then not do stereotypes. That's how you do it.
Here's the thing. When we meant stereotype, we meant it and as follows: don't make the character stupid. Don't betray them in a way that really doesn't reflect well on a specific group of people. For instance, the reason why, and I didn't really thought much of it until it was brought into a conversation. And I looked back at the film and said, Yeah, I think he dropped the ball on this one. The reason why people was on Michael Bay for Transformers wasn't really more of the Transformers, but the way they was portrayed in the film, dumb,
Well,
arrogant. Um,
why I did not liked, why I hated the second film, and that was the first film of the Michael's Bay's Transformers I saw, so it really affected my perception. Was that
mhm,
I was going into the theater one day going, all I want to do is see robots beating the shit out of each other. Oh, look, we're
mhm.
spending a lot of time with these human characters I don't give a fuck about. Okay.
I'm just saying it's very easy for me to sit here and criticize. I mean, the reason why people get on George Lucas for his characters is that it was very clear, and I didn't really care about it. Some of them were just annoying characters to me. But when you betray a certain voice, when you betray a certain culture, it shows. No matter what they are, it does show.
Yeah, Jar Jar.
And
You're talking about Jar
not,
Jar Banks, aren't you?
not just even Jar Jar Banks, the guy who was the fly guy. I don't know who he was. I forgot. I keep
Oh,
getting his name.
Not Greedo.
Guido.
Watto. Watto.
Watto.
That was the fly, the blue thing with the wings that owned Anakin.
Yeah. So it's a lot of stuff that shows. And here's the thing: the time is changing. People who go to the movies are well aware of what these movies are portraying people as. It's not like the '70s anymore. For instance, the Pink Panther. Pink Panther is one of my favorite series, but it was racially insensitive towards Asian people because he had a guy who helped him train for his job, and one of the things he kept calling him was yellow. That is a
God, there was a T. Okay, there's something in my eye I'm going to tell you once I get back.
okay. I guess she found something. I guess I clicked something for her that she needs to talk about. But that's the point. And this was perfectly normal in the '70s, even in the '80s. They the newest Pink Panther pretty much explain and say, hey, this is not. You can't say this stuff anymore. It's racially insensitive. It's disrespectful towards a group of people. The same thing goes with most of the films now going on. So it's really more about you want to be you don't want to be stereotyped. Look, nobody says you don't need to cast any diverse people in the film. That's not what they meant. They meant try and don't make them in a way that it shows a terrible light on them, especially when you have a group of people. And that was something that I think that the people behind Pan has missed the point. You've missed the boat on that. That was not a good move on their part at all. And to me, again, it's like I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you at all with that. Come on, hurry up! I want to know what she's doing. I'm curious what she has in store for me with this. But that's my whole point about Hollywood. Hollywood hasn't really learned too much from their mistakes. A lot of it because they try to cover it up. And, instead of going to the vault and seeing some of the stuff they have done in the past, and say, yeah, this was not a good idea. Let's not do this anymore. They decided we're going to lock it up, pretend it doesn't exist, but not learn from that. And because of that, we have films that came out like Pan, or even films that shows very little or no diversity whatsoever. And again, I have no problem with people who who should be given the part of the role because they're best suited for the part. But at the same time, there has to be more of an effort to cast a more diverse group of people. We're seeing somewhat of that now with the Fantastic Four. She's back. And other films, but they should be more doing. There should be no reason why this year hardly any Asians was on screen. Now, Josh, what was it that you moved away from the screen or from the audio?
Just okay. Let me make sure. No, it's I forget the name of the show, but basically it had the guy who played Gimli from Lord of the Rings,
Uh
and him and some other groups traveled to parallel dimensions, and they kept on trying to get back. It was an
huh.
old show. God damn it. I fucking forget what it's called. If someone wants to comment below and tell us. But anyways, they had one guy, one black guy. They called him Mr. Brown.
I think I heard of this. Was it a BBC show?
Maybe, I can't remember. I watched on Netflix recently.
Okay. So what was the problem with the movie, with the show?
Mr. Brown was a black guy. Mr. Brown was a black guy. And
Okay.
we're just like commenting how cheesy it looks, and we kept on, me and Crazy kept on like laughing at, oh, Mr. Brown, that's racist as fuck.
Well, was it intended to be that way, or because
It
if they
might
would have said Uncle Tom, then I can understand.
It was
Okay.
it might have just been the era, because we kept on going, no way would people get away with this shit today. So it could be that. It was fucking. It was just. It could have been of the times, and so it's just, yeah, a little bit of racism.
Trust me, I've seen worse.
I know, but still, that was like the thing that came to mind. I was like, wait a minute.
Well, here's the thing. I want you to look up the controversy behind Breakfast at Tiffany, and you understand why a lot of Asians were very upset by that movie.
I'm trying
And that
to.
way, it took me a while. It took me a while to run in. Why are they mad? And I saw the film and said, "Oh, yeah, this is not a smart way to do it."
Oh,
And
Sliders was the TV show.
Mhm. Yeah, it is. But you get my point. A lot of times, look, if someone like that was shown for comic relief, and was done for, as something tongue in cheek like comedy or something to bring a political statement, I have no problem with. But there are some things that Hollywood does that you just scratch your head and saying, why did you even have to go there? Why did you felt the need to do that? I give you a perfect example. My mom loved this movie but only because Michael Jackson, Diana Ross, a lot of musical stars was in it. This is the worst black film, and it really set us back 20 years, and that was The Wiz. Have you seen that movie?
No, what's it about?
It's The Wizard of Oz, but with an all black cast.
Ah,
It could have been something very, very good because the play was actually done the same way as the original movie was done. Very colorful, very got a lot of great music, and Motown, along with our favorite director that seemed to destroy the Batman franchise for quite some time, who was involved in this series, um, decided to change everything that was supposed to be done. Now, many people blame Motown because Motown wanted to sell records and they wanted to present their favorite stars. Others blame, why is his name escaping me? Zack Snyder, I believe. Not Snyder. I wish that would have been funny if he would have done it. No, the guy who did the Batman and Robin movie.
oh, good. Fuck. Burton? Tim Burton?
Not Burton. Not Tim Burton. After him.
Batman. I know. Alright. IMDb, Tim. No. Okay, IMDb,
Batman and Robin.
Robin. Okay.
You,
I will
you
be
get
your
the screenplay
research for today. Joel Schumacher.
Schumacher. Yeah, there we go. Joel Schumacher wrote that script. And what he gave us was the most disgusting, stereotypical movie I have ever seen.
I must
changed
admit
it from
that it has a little bit of nostalgia to it. Just, my ex stepsister did like to watch it a lot, so
You say you didn't watch The Wiz. You say you didn't watch The Wiz.
I didn't watch. I'm talking about the Batman and Robin. I thought we switched.
No, we ain't switched topic. I'm just saying that he wrote the storyline for The Wiz, and what we got was the worst stereotypical, disgusting film I've ever seen. How do you change? First of all, Kansas was all colorful and everything else in the play. He turned that into Harlem, a dirt-ridden, disgusting pile of rubbish. And the Wiz was supposed to be the Oz reflected the same thing, only worse. It was a total train wreck. Diana Ross could not act to save her life. It was the worst acting I've ever seen. The music, which actually could have been good, ended up being obscured by the fact that it's a bad camera angle. Michael Jackson saw one song in that entire film.
One song?
Yes, one. You got the greatest singer of all time, and he only sang once in that whole entire film. It was a train wreck. We didn't have another black musical movie until Dreamgirls. That's how long it took for another film to get right. It was that bad. You're speechless right now.
I'm just fucking gosh. I don't know. I sort of tuned out what you were saying after you're like, no, there was only one song. Okay, I don't need to hear anything else. And then we go Harlem. I'm like, zoning out. Earth to Aaron to Earth, not tuning in until this horrible thing is over.
It was such a bad. It considered to be that was the last time black exploitation films, because they consider it a black exploitation film. I consider it a waste of time and a piece of trash film. My mom loved it though. For some reason, she loved it, but that film was a bad film. It was a very bad film, and it basically ended Diana Ross's movie career before he even got started. And she's a great musician, but she was supposed to be playing a teenage Dorothy, and she's 35.
Good going. Oh yeah. Well, at the same time, Pretty Little Liars. Every one of the main cast is not a teenager, and they were supposed to be in high school. So
but they look like they're teenagers.
This today.
Listen, they look like they're teenagers. You can buy them being a teenager or somebody about to enter college. Now, Diana Ross looked like a grown woman who's trying to pretend to be in her early teens. You can't do that. Come on now. And this is the thing. That thing of casting grown people to play teenage roles isn't working anymore. People is catching on. I got news for you. People didn't like it when you have Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone playing teenagers in the first Spider-Man movie. That was one of the main issues.
Emma Stone is hot. That she's on screen, so can't complain. And then Andrew Garfield did a great performance as Spider-Man, and he was cute. So oh no, get that eye candy away from me! No.
But the reality is that alone has set back a lot of films being done, because we didn't have too many African stars or black stars. Eddie Murphy was the biggest thing that was happening in the 80s. Eddie Murphy was everywhere, and he was good. He was in his prime during that time. But there's a big issue where I say that from here and now, there's not enough diversity going on. And there's a lot of reasons. Half of us, we have to blame for that as well. It's not just Hollywood. But a lot of times, I think Hollywood tends to be scared of change. We want to, but we're not too sure. It's the same thing with women in the movie industry. Like, for instance, they feel it's a big risk to do Wonder Woman. They feel it's a big risk to do Supergirl. They feel it's a big risk to having female protagonists who are strong, sexy but strong. For some reason, they feel that the world is not ready for that. What do you mean the world's not ready for that? Have you seen the demographics who's watching the films lately? They do want a strong female lead. They've been begging for a strong female lead.
The Hunger Games. That
exactly.
Just wait for it. I know this is going to shock you. A female protagonist.
Exactly. So the idea.
I don't get the arguments like, oh, it probably won't do well.
They
Yeah,
won't do well because he's not
about
trying to make it do well. They won't do well because he's not trying to make it do well. There should be no reason why Black Widow should not have her own film. There should be no reason why. There should be no reason. Are you telling me that you're that scared? I mean, come on. John Song has already proven that she can play this role. She's proven that can carry this role. The problem with it is that you have too many people. There's too many people who still think that the audience want to see just a beautiful woman, and that's really it. Can you honestly say that Jennifer Garner should have played Elektra in that movie?
oh, Daredevil.
Yes. Should she play Elektra?
I didn't mind her. I didn't really hate that film. but but at the
Look, she's
same
a good
time,
actress,
wait,
miscast.
wait, hang on. At the same time, I'm not really familiar with the comic book characters, so I don't know how good her portrayal, you know, of the Electra from the comics was. So I don't know what part was her acting, what part was her scripts. So
Well, I'll give you another one. I'll give you another one. And this one, it was very clear because people want to blame Holly Berry for this, and it's not even her fault.
Catwoman.
And to her credit, yeah, and to her credit, she took it all in stride, and she basically had fun with it. You know from pretty well that was done in the right script. She probably would have done a great job with Catwoman.
Yeah,
But
she
it
was.
wasn't about. Go ahead.
Whenever, when sometimes when she was walking on screen, I'm like, that looks like really kick ass. I would. I took what I got, but yeah, if she was given a better script, that's one
Yeah,
of the problems sometimes with adaptations. Even with Animorphs, some of the actors on that show did a good job, but the problem was they had a horrible script.
and that's the problem here. I mean, there was no reason. The only reason why they cast her on that role wasn't because of her acting abilities, but because she looked hot in leather. She was something about eye candy, and that was it. They didn't care about whether or not that film had a good script. They just saw her, and that's it. I'm like, come on, that to me that don't make no sense to me. And I'm looking at this film and say, wow, they really this is an Academy Award winning actress, and they're giving her these roles to do. And that's the problem I have with with Hollywood. It seems like they seem to go out of their way of not really using the full potential of their actresses, not really going all out to find more diverse actors in different cultures. That they seem to be stuck in the same old treadmill, and it hasn't really hurt their images out that well. People are taking notices, and people are screaming at them saying, hey, start doing more diverse, giving these roles more diverse roles. It shouldn't. You telling me there's not a German American that can't play a German character in any of these movies? Are you telling me that there's not one Asian actor out there right now who can actually step in the role and become big billing for films? I don't think so. Hollywood needs to step up their game, and most importantly, the actors, the directors, and producers need to step up as well. Especially those who seem to criticize other actors who actually have stepped way beyond what many people thought they could. You may like Tyler Perry, you may hate Tyler Perry, but you got to respect him for the fact that he owns his own empire. He has power that no other African actor or actors or director or producer has, and that says a lot considering where he came from and where he is right now. And I'm saying that with Spike Lee because Spike Lee has it's somewhat of a feud going on with them. And I'm like, Spike Lee, I understand what you're saying, sir. I understand where you're coming from. But you ever how to think about calling Tyler Perry up and actually doing a tag team and make it out of something that you guys made from your nation and actually, be pretty praised for it instead of actually knocking them every time you get, it becomes a problem with this. And I think there's a whole lot of things that I think Hollywood, the actors and producers need to step up and say, hey, times are changing. We need to change with the times. You're quiet.
Yeah, because you were talking.
Now it's your turn.
Oh fuck! Now I have to say shit. Hmm. But yeah, just with female protagonists, it can be done. People are interested in female characters. There are books that can be adapted with female protagonists. There's The Hunger Games. Divergent was a good series. They started to go downhill with the first one. And I was like, I'm going to leave all judgments until the second movie comes out. Oh, that's crap. So sometimes they just don't do it. Well, they ruin the movie, and so that they can easily say, "Oh, look, this movie with a female protagonist didn't do well. It must only be because she's a female protagonist, not that the movie fucking sucks."
Well, I'm hoping that they are starting to realize that because, like I said, there's no more excuses. Jennifer Lawrence had brought it up in her tweet about equal wages and how there's still sexism in Hollywood. People are starting to see it now more and more often. And what was considered to be okay back in the 70s and 80s, even parts of the 90s, isn't flying well today. Like I said, if Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and all this problem that came out, the one thing people will not talk about was Jar Jar Banks and how much of a racist character he is, or even Guido. A Transformer that came out during the time of the 80s, it would be the same thing. People would just say, oh, it's a dumb, crazy movie. But they would never have talked about the race issue. Things are changing, and I think Hollywood needs to be more aware that diversity may be the key to edge out those criticisms. You may disagree, or you may agree. What's your feeling on that?
Well, first of all, I would want a good movie over diversity, just because sometimes when people try to, push the diversity at the forefront, it's like it's a marketing ploy and it doesn't feel real.
Well, let me go on and say that I don't want that to be a quota. All right, I still believe that the person with the best job, the best potential should get the job. However, if you're not trying to interview everyone, when I mean everyone, I mean everyone, it becomes a moot point. I'm saying you're not even trying. That's the whole thing. I'm not about that. You're not even looking for that actor who may be great. You're just basically saying, "Oh well, no, they're not ready for it yet," or "We did try, but nothing turned out." You didn't, because if you did, you would audition everyone. I don't see Hollywood doing that. I see Hollywood staying within that circle of certain select of characters. Those who get the roles either A, have already had someone established in Hollywood that they're able to get them through the front door. I feel if I feel like this, give everybody a fair chance. Met them interview for these jobs, and that person is good enough. He should get the job. To me, there's still too much of a race issue going on in Hollywood, and I think they need to really look at that. Like I said, I don't want it to be a quota. Don't get me wrong. They shouldn't be a quota.
What if, but at the same time, if someone's supposed to be, say, Asian or black, you should get the best of one of those actors. Just like if you're going to do a adaptation of a anime like I don't know, Ghost in the Shell, you should be picking from one of those races so that they can, yeah, because there's good Asian actors out there. It's just that they're not really looked at.
Exactly, and if you're not
Not
really
as much
looked at,
as Scarlett Johansson, because that's, I think, the first thing that I really heard about Ghost in the Shell, and she seems, I think I just checked IMDb, and it seems that she's the only cast member that's been put down there, and I mean, she could maybe play a bit part in there, okay, but the first one that's shown to be cast should be someone representative of the culture.
exactly, and I think that's the main issue. It shouldn't have to be. I mean, to me, it's more about, okay, if you're gonna do a casting call, do it right. Don't just drown yourself to a certain select few, because people see through it. A lot of people, even in the
Because what you're
business.
going to do is to do quote unquote colorblind casting, and like, oh look, we got all these actors, and the one we picked just happened to be white.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. I mean, Hollywood needs to really look at that. Again, this is a sad state that I had to look the last few years and not and I cannot, and there has not been a single Asian actor who actually stood up and actually became top billing. We got, like I said, we got Denzel Washington. We got a lot of African American actors that's actually done great. We actually had some films that have actually had made headway and actually gotten great praises. There should be no reason why a film that has a great actor, or whether it's action star, drama star, is coming from overseas. We should have some actors here who should make it here. That's my whole thing. Well, Josh, now that we got that topic out of the way, do you have any topics you want to discuss that you want to share with the audience?
Oh God. Let's see. What do I want to talk about?
Come on.
Okay. Okay. I'm thinking. This is a very hard thing for me to do. I mean, thinking is not necessarily my forte. Okay. How about we do the latest report from Tumblr?
All right, go hit me with it.
Okay,
What's going on with Tumblr these days?
this was one thing that had gone that I've seen, I think probably months ago, but it came back and it was like a post. It was a picture of a little sign somewhere saying, "Hey, turn off your cell phones, talk to people around you. Maybe turn off your Wi-Fi and talk to people around you. Maybe if you're going to use your cell phone, call your mom. Pretend it's 1993. Something that's I don't mind technology. I have a cell phone. I'm on the computer a lot, but there are just certain situations where you need to let go of technology and just look at the world around you. And people on Tumblr just, had sarcastic replies of how the sign was so fucking stupid. It's like, it's just like there was also a post a little bit back of a kid playing a Game Boy or some handheld device by Stonehenge. And, the first reply or two is very logical. Hey, if you're there, you shouldn't be playing a game. And people then started replying shit like, "Oh my God, how dare you say that? Maybe he just doesn't like being there." I've seen, I live in Florida. I've gone to Disney World, and I've seen some kids that just like talk on just spend all the time on this cell phone or playing some handheld device. And it's like, why would you do that there? It's not if you like it or if you don't. Disney World tickets are not the cheapest thing.
So I heard.
The prices have raised, so it's just like if I'm not anti-technology, I'm doing this podcast here, but at the same time, it's like there's some points where you just have to live life outside. And people on Tumblr want to be a nice echo chamber of, "Oh my God, you should not just listen to people who are saying this stuff I'm saying."
Like I said, it is Tumblr.
I
We
know,
all,
sadly, some of the things from Tumblr start infecting other parts of the web. And it's like, I go to other parts of the web to escape.
Mhm. Well, it makes you feel better. I keep getting these crazy messages from people on Skype or in Yahoo. I don't know why they call filter to most people to go do a webcam thing for them. I like, look, I'm not gonna do it. Stop. You're not getting my credit card number.
Those are spam bots. Spam bots, I just go block, 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 block.
Anything else going on in Tumblr I should be aware of?
Oh, good. Look, I haven't really. The main Tumblrs I visit now are Drama Rising, which is a Flight Rising Tumblr just with drama stuff that's nice to view. It's addicting. And there was recently UGG Social Justice was shut down, and they moved to a secondary Tumblr, and they finally got the original Tumblr, and they're looking for modes. Basically, what happened was one of the modes had reported the blog because of a personality test that sent a virus out, and that one of the modes had accidentally I guess reblogged. So so yeah, now they're accepting new modes, and I think I might have missed the date, of just sending the application, but I really like the blog, but at the same time, I'm like, I probably would get so stressed out.
Oh, okay. It's kind of amazing because it seemed like Tumblr is the wild west of social media. Almost everything is over there.
Yeah, there's UGG Social Justice is not a social justice warrior blog. So
All right, so we got Tumblr report. I hope you're happy, Tumblr. You got free advertisement.
like it needs it.
But let's go to what's going on with yours. How's the book holding up?
The book
Yes.
on my
How's your
ebook,
ebook holding?
I
Yes.
finally was able to write some more.
Uh huh.
Some more. I split it into 3 parts, and so I'm finally working on part 2.
You figured
So,
out there. What was that?
what? Oh,
Uh
I split the book into 3 parts, each part having around 3,000 words.
huh.
And I finally getting a little bit of the second part done. But it's just going a little slowly because blog work, writing commissions, and everything else.
All right. All right. So now
And the
that
artist who's going to be doing the cover is still on, so that's good.
do me a favor, will you? Would you do
What?
me this favor? Ask her how much does she charge commission for book cover?
Well, she's
Because I may want to
like
hire her.
pretty pricey, so I could ask her.
Yeah, ask her how much she charge for book cover. Because she may get a call from me soon. I need a book cover for book 1 of my book.
Just
Just ask her.
I
And if
will.
anybody else would do book covers, I need a designer. I'm not an artist, so I'm a writer or a storyteller because my writing is not great. So now I got a bone to pick with you.
What?
I said I was gonna make this as a podcast. This will be the last thing we talk about. Because you got mad when I text you.
I can get mad at the drop of a hat. Just saying I got mad at something is sometimes I'm just in a bad mood. And that can
Like,
be any time.
because
I,
you brought up, because I remember being at work and I said, you said you ate sushi. I said, oh, that's cool. But, you also said, I asked you how was it good. He said, no, it was a bit of meh. So I said, I said,
you implied that I would not eat meh sushi. It's sushi.
but the thing is, you was like, you didn't seem to enjoy it.
It was sushi. I took what I got.
So like what I said, it's like, I can eat. He was like, I can eat any sushi I want. I'm like, oh good, because I can't eat sushi. I
Sushi.
tell you.
I mean, I really like it. It's sort of like if you're a fan of a series and a bad, and the sequel's going to be bad, but you have to see it anyways.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, okay, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay, it's just like if you're a fan of a series and the sequel's going to be bad, but you have to see it anyways because it's part of the series. It's like that. Sushi.
I'd rather eat raw vegetables than sushi. And everybody knows I will not eat sushi.
Sushi.
Did you have anything else with it though?
Afterwards I had a little salad.
Okay, so you had an alternative. The alternative was your meal.
Yeah, the sushi. Sushi. No. That's like don't eat all of them, Aaron. Trash. And I'm just like, no. You can't stop me. I'll do what I want.
Can't. I just can't. Out of all the food, any sort of seafood, that's the only one I can't eat.
Why not?
I,
I prefer the sashimi, which is just the raw fish without any rice or anything.
I gotta have something cooked, or it's not gonna come in my system.
There's some tempura or some sort of cooked sushi. So
Look, there's a rule I have. If the food ain't cooked, it not come in my system. I cannot. I fear that it will kill me. Death by food is not something I want to be the one.
You just have to make sure that the place is, healthy so you don't die. Such as any of you college students and they have a night with sushi, don't eat it.
Why?
That's not the good sushi. And because one time at the college, my alma mater, uh, they had a sushi night, and there was a bunch of people that got sick afterwards.
You ate raw food. You seem
No,
surprised.
no, it's just I didn't eat it, and plus, if it's served correctly, kept clean, it won't get you sick.
Yeah, but I don't know. I gotta have my food cooked. Not having if it's not cooked, it's not coming. There's certain food that's meant to be cooked, meant to be eaten the way it is. I know what they are, but certain like seafood is very. You gotta be very careful with seafood,
Yeah.
especially certain food that must be cooked by a well trained chef. Otherwise, you're in trouble. But other than that, what else did you do that day?
Um, let's see. God, I every day is nearly the same to me. I get up. Actually, hello.
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm listening.
Yeah, I wake up around noon. I do some daily stuff on Flight Rising. I watch a YouTube video or two. I get up, I brush my teeth, and I make my coffee, take some of my medication, and then I do stuff on the computer.
That's very nice. That's wonderful. I was in court the whole week, so your day was good.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, but it's been like a busy week or two because I had a bunch of doctor's appointments. And by Thursday, Wednesday, the last appointment of the week, I was just like, oh my God, I just want to lay in. I go now.
uh, so again, you had a very interesting week. I had a very interesting week. Um, what has happened? Oh, I am going to talk about Demar Odom, but later on, I want to get more details as to it. I will say, thank goodness he is alert and well. There was a health crisis scare. The news jumped the gun a little bit, but after hearing all these storylines between him, he's lucky to be alive right now. So this is why we'll talk about that in a minute.
Oh, wait a minute. The news jumped all over something?
Now
It
they
can't
said
be so.
the stuff they were saying. It was like, wow, we're really not checking our facts yet, don't we? We ain't waiting to see what the other stuff be coming, but it was just so crazy. You literally had to wait. But a lot of people criticized it in the media for that because they said that he was brain dead, and he's not. He's actually alert, but he's still in serious condition. I said, what drugs was in his system? The stuff that they were describing. I mean, I was scratching my head. I said, "You're lucky to be alive, pal." He really is. I didn't even know, and I found out something about that situation. I didn't know. I didn't know that brothels in Las Vegas was legal. I did not know that. I thought they were banned.
There were banned prostitutes?
Yeah, I thought they were banned in certain. No, there's some places in the United States it's still legal. I find it interesting. They got strict rules and guidelines, but they do exist, and that's where he was. And they found him unconscious with so much drugs in the system that they was the part they actually revived him the way they did. So he got a lot of issues. So hopefully he makes a full recovery. But from what I'm hearing, he may never be the same. And what's happened to Bear Kardashian have made the news and not in a good light. But I'm not, come on, he had problems, he had issues way before this. So to blame her for that is just ridiculous. But he was by his side, so hopefully they can manage to work something out that he can actually get his life together. you don't look at news much, so you don't know this.
I heard that people thought he was dead, and people then no, he's found to be alive. So I've heard that much. I just don't really know the guy.
It goes to show this because you have fame and fortune doesn't mean you don't have problems. So that's our show for the day, guys. We did our usual standard show. I don't have any guilty pleasures just yet, or guilt or shameful promotions, I'd like to call it. Jocelyn may have some, so I'm gonna leave it to her to talk about the stuff she's gonna be doing this whole week. Let's go ahead, Josh.
Okay. I'm going to start my Mockingjay dramatic reading. It will be on my YouTube channel, Josh Reads. I did the intro last week, and this week I'm going to start it in proper. I'm also working on the next part of the Animorphs reread, which is written and will be on my blog, trashikins.blogspot.com. Yeah.
That's it.
Let's see. I'm going to see how many reviews I still have on my backlog. And the thing with my reviews is that some of them I don't think have gotten past the point where it would be beneficial to publishing them. So I've been cutting out some season reviews just because I'm like, this season has started. The new season has started, so I can't do that now. So.
Okay.
Well,
that's interesting. But like I said, you do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's
more stuff than I think everybody gives credit for.
Also, I'm doing Flight Rising random Dragon Journal entries every Friday and every Saturday. Short little fan fiction chapters for it, following different plot lines.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have a Patreon. I'm Jashikins on Patreon, so.
All right. So, like I said, she does a lot of stuff, and how she gets the time to do all this stuff is amazing. But she does it. So
I
check
don't
out her
have that
work.
much to do.
So check our stuff out. Next week will be a free for all. So we're gonna be looking at articles from the entertainment world, talking about them, including some stuff that make our heads spin. So pretty much no major topic that we'll be talking about. It's just
next week I'm not going to be here.
I will be here.
Next week, Saturday, is my birthday, and so I'm going to go away to Revs's for the weekend.
So that means I'm going to be by myself. But I'm going to be here because I do have a timeline. I know I don't like to do things by myself, but hopefully I'll get a guest star. Who knows? If not, you guys would know ahead of time if it's being postponed, but it will be a free-for-all when the next time we come back. Until then, guys, this is J77 saying take care, be safe. I'll talk to you soon. Say goodbye, Josh.
Yo!